Hi, good morning, Amy.
Good morning. How are you
Hi.
today?
Not too bad, thanks. Yeah, I'm just here for your Zoom support. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you today.
Perfect. Let me just make sure.
Good morning. How are you today?
Not too bad, thanks. Yeah, sorry, just a bit of so let me make sure your settings are okay. Make host. Just want to make sure you can share your screen and share your video and make sure that that works okay.
Okay, so when I go, oh, there's my video. Excellent. I also have Victoria Jeter coming. I just
Okay.
sent her the information that I was sent for the host, so hopefully she pops in here. Make sure I can share my screen. Okay,
Perfect.
okay. There
So
we go.
I've paused recording for now, so once you're ready, I can resume recording of the Zoom video. So I'll wait for your co-host to arrive, and then I can just begin recording. Um, yeah, just a reminder to stick between the 40-45 minutes. Do
Mhm.
you want to receive any time reminders, or are you just going to keep an eye on the clock?
Yep, I have a timer set for me, so we're pretty good.
Perfect. So let's just wait for your co-host to arrive.
All right. This. I'm just texting her right now. Check email. Okay. All right. Let me just give Is my sound okay to you?
Sounds good. Yeah, perfect.
All right, good. Hey, Victoria.
Second Amy, two Amy accounts. So I'll
I
make
said hello and then realized I was muted. Sorry.
no eyes.
I am renaming you, Victoria.
Oh, that would be good. Um,
And will you need to share your screen as well, Victoria?
yeah, I will not need to share my screen. That's all Amy. I don't know if you'd prefer me to have my camera on, I can. It's just saying that I am not allowed to have my video on right now. Um, so that's kind of up to Amy or you guys.
Victoria, I don't think you need your camera on because you're going to be furiously chatting in the chat and then
Perfect.
looking for all sorts of different websites and such. So I don't want you to.
I'll have my camera on for the next like 3, 4 webinars that I'm hosting today. So don't necessarily need to be camera on this time.
Yeah, just to test the chat as well. So just let's test. Oh, why's my tool not working? Do you see those test chats on the side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it does look like only hosts and panelists can type in the chat, so would everything else just go through the Q&A?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Questions.
Oh, Amy,
Mhm.
there is one typo
Oh my gosh, where?
um that I just happened to see. It is on the what is a learning management system slide.
Yep.
Um, I think it's slide like 6.
Okay.
It says data analysis and tacking instead of tracking.
Data analytics, insightful data analytics and tracking tools.
No. Like in the right next to the number 4, like the title of that section.
Oh, lovely. That's wonderful. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sam made the slide, so I was just like stealing bits and parts from it.
No, that it happens. I just happened to see that one and I was like, oh, so I have to
Yeah, can you resave it?
save the slide deck and then go from there. Were you able to open that link that I sent you in Slack with the slide deck?
I can't, Slack isn't working for me right now. I'm at a hotel in Athens.
Okay. You're rocking it.
I'm trying, let me tell you, the internet didn't work last night. So I was up till 1:30 a.m. working with the hotel people to get the internet back on.
Oh no.
It was a nightmare, but we're here. I'm all set. We're gonna do wonderful.
Okay, so we're almost at time and I'll just resume recording. So we have a few minutes left. And then I'll just stay quiet for the duration and then end the Zoom webinar at the end.
Okay, perfect. All right, good morning, everyone. I see all of our participant numbers are gaining, so welcome to the first session of your Beyond Access Forum today. I have some information to share with you regarding your CTLE credits and kind of a few housekeeping details. So let me go ahead and get my screen started here and share along. All right, so you are in the session called Unlocking the Power of iLearn NYC. The session is with myself, Amy Kuna, and Victoria Jeter. She will be running the chat for us. So let me talk a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. As I mentioned, my name is Amy Kuna. I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager. I work for D2L, and I also help support iLearn NYC and WeLearn NYC within the NYCPS school districts. I myself have an extensive teaching background. I was a classroom teacher. I taught social studies, grades 6 through 12. I was an assistant principal in a large middle school. Not sure why I ended up in middle school. Those of you that have taught a middle school know it takes a certain person. I went from there and worked with a district professional development team. I led all sorts of social studies and dean cadres throughout the district. When I moved to Georgia about 10 years ago, I started teaching for Mountain Education Charter High School. For those of you that don't know, it's kind of a night school geared at teachers and students that don't succeed during the day. This is where I really found my passion, really wanted to help students nationwide. And I thought, how can I do that? I can come and work for D2L and show teachers how they can use an LMS in their daily classroom life and make their lives easier, right? Because we don't want to make your lives any more difficult than they are. We know that you're very busy. And so hopefully we'll show you today an overview and overlook of what iLearn NYC is. So in our agenda today, as I mentioned, we'll go through those housekeeping items. Don't worry, I'll talk to you about how to get those CTLE credits. We'll do a general iLearn NYC overview. We have some live demonstration and some real quick and easy getting started workflows. And we're going to leave you with all sorts of resources. Victoria is going to go ahead and post an agenda in our chat so that you're able to see that. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to post those and we'll get those all answered using the question and answer chat box. So that's what we have here. Also, any additional questions can be sent to iLearn NYC implementation managers and or can be sent to nycdoe@d2l.com and we'll help you out with that. Jessica, I see that you raised your hand. Can I answer your question here real quickly before we get started? Okay, we can put that in the question and answer, and Victoria, of course, will go there and help you. So first of all, what am I talking about? What is an LMS? And why is D2L involved? You probably have not heard very much about a product called Brightspace or the company called D2L. So I work for D2L. D2L creates the product that is called Brightspace Core or Performance Plus, Creator Plus. You'll hear all those words together. We create that product Brightspace. We then work with iLearn NYC and they utilize Brightspace and they customize it to how the NYCPS administrators and leads would like for it to look. Just as a reminder, D2L and Brightspace is all over the world. We are a worldwide, nationwide company. Many high schools and many higher education institutes utilize Brightspace, but they may call it something different. So I know when my son was in college, it was called the Wolf Den, right? Because it's all powered by Brightspace. So let's talk a little bit about what is a learning management system. So there are 4 main things that we're going to cover today. The purpose, number 1, is a centralized platform. We have so many different kind of software, different kind of websites we use, tech, different, discovery education. How do we put all that into one central platform and keep track of it? An LMS will do that as a centralized area where you can not only create and manage all of your lesson plans, but you can create your content to be engaging for students and even accessible to parents as they look over their student's shoulder to see what they're doing in your class. So it is your digital classroom. It allows you to personalize learning. And what I mean by this is that we are an entirely accessible platform. So if you have those kiddos that have 504s or IEPs or maybe need extra time or color blindness, we meet all of those diverse needs. You can also set up personalized learning tracks for students. So I think of all the groups of students I used to have. I used to have, a slower reading group, or I used to have an accelerated group, right? You can personalize that learning and they can all be working on the LMS and not even know which group that they're in working through your activity for the day. We are also a communication hub. It's a seamless communication. It's real-time updates and collaboration. So not only collaboration between you and families and you and the students, but it's also communication and collaboration between you and other teachers. So when I wrote curriculum for social studies, I was on a team, right? So I was on my 8th grade team where we taught together as a team, but then I was also on a social studies team. I was on a US history team. I was on this team. How do I keep all of that in one place? And then what happens when that team member leaves, right? Does all that stuff go with them? Do they share with you a million different Google folders or OneDrive folders? You don't know where it's at. If you keep everything in Brightspace, all teachers, all students have access to iLearn NYC already. It is fully funded, which means you don't have to pay anything. All of your students are already in there. All the rostering is already done. It is a learning management system ready for you to use. Now, we're not going to get too much into data analysis and tracking, but we certainly have webinars following up that will show you some of that insightful data analytics. But just think about how you're tracking each individual student against each individual standard in your class. It gets to be quite the nightmare, right? So how did Johnny do on standard 1A? Or how did Beth do on standard 2C.2? You can track all of that in the learning management system and then attach activities to each of those standards and use that progress report with that student. And yes, it does travel from student to student and school to school. I also mentioned that post-secondary success earlier. CUNY, SUNY, NYU, many different institutions who have like yearly modules that educators have to take. All of those are within Brightspace. So students are going right from the LMS use in iLearn NYC right to SUNY, and they're working in that same system. So it really helps students to be successful. Now, I know sometimes I've heard, and I get it, right? Learning something new can be hard. And sometimes, you know, that usability score keeps us from trying something new. So I threw in here just a few weeks ago, we are honored and praised and so excited that Teachable has been ranked #1 for ease of use. And that is above Google Classroom. So once you get our slide deck, I put in here a link that will compare us side by side. Don't let learning something new stop you from using an LMS that's really going to make your life so much easier year over year. Don't take my word for it. We know that the virtual learning classrooms primarily uses Brightspace. So those students and kiddos that take those courses that are online through the virtual learning classrooms utilize iLearn NYC. Now, when I talk about it today, I'm looking at it through the lens of blended learning. Just want to define that here real quick. Blended learning isn't the one student, you know, spends 2 days at home and 3 days in your classroom. I'm talking about the blended learning in which you are incorporating the LMS almost on a daily option in your class. Whether you're doing an activity, an announcement, a discussion, whatever it may be, you're incorporating the use of the LMS into your class. In essence, you're training those students on what to expect every day. So before we go into the demo, this is the last one here, and I'm going to show you this wonderful LMS. We've put together some benefits for teachers, so benefits primarily for you. I talked a little bit about course creation and data. I'm going to show you Creator Plus, where everybody can easily create content. It's so easy. Accessibility. You also have access to QuickTime data, like how long did the student spend in your course? How long did they spend on that quiz? Did they just go through and answer CC the whole time and then come back and say, you know, I'm having trouble understanding it? That's all excellent data for you to have to make decisions in your classroom. You can also do awards and award leaderboards. All of those things are included in the course creation and data hub. Talking about hubs, it is that centralized hub. Now, what I mean here is that you already have a lot of links that are embedded in iLearn NYC. So when you're talking about your Apexes or your Achieve 3000, students go into iLearn, they click a link, they go directly to that curriculum. So you're keeping students in a safe place in one LMS to do all of their work. You also have other favorite integrations like Turnitin, Zoom, Reads Feature Teams. If your favorite integration here isn't listed, you can certainly go and create some custom LTI links with the help of the iLearn team. Assessment. So let me talk here quick about assessment. Forward assessment every single day, quick and easy. You have assignments, discussion, quizzes. We have a tool called Quick Eval. You're going to love it. You put a quiz in and it automatically grades that quiz for you and puts all the grades in the grade book. Now, talk about saving time. That's really great. We have a portfolio tool where students can take pictures of anything, upload it to the portfolio. And the second portion of that is important when you talk about how are you grading that portfolio item? Are you having a discussion with the student back and forth? Are you having the parent sign off on it? Are you looking at doing a rubric with the portfolio? You could even record a video of yourself and put it into the portfolio. Hey, Johnny, I loved your picture. However, A, B, and C. So there's so many different ways that you can utilize assessment within iLearn NYC. When we talk about collaboration, I gave you some ideas before about those learning groups, but think about professional development. If you're an administrator, how are you giving professional development to your staff? How are you keeping track of all of the things that you need for your staff to do? You can certainly turn it around and look at iLearn NYC, utilize WeLearn, the professional development area, and get all of that accomplished. We'll only be focusing on iLearn for today, but there's multitudes of resources to help you along. Now, I'm also going to show you a quick peek into some of our AI features. The one thing I want you to remember about our AI features is that D2L keeps some principles at the center of our heart. We want students to be using AI that you as a teacher feels appropriate. So you are pulling only from the content in your course. I can remember when AI came out, you type in there, give me 10 questions about the American Revolution. Well, maybe 5 of those questions I didn't even teach in class. So now I have to go through and eliminate those. With our AI features, you are telling it, I want it to only pull from my lessons and create quiz questions, create practice questions from my content. So that's, again, a big time saver. So let me hop in here to this wonderful LMS that I've been talking to you about so much. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the question and answer, and Victoria will be answering those as we move along. So this is what you're going to see when you first log in. And yes, we're going to give you all of the login details that you need. Don't worry, it's very simple. So this is like, I think of it as a web page, right? This is your school homepage. This is all customizable. So if I don't like the way that this looks up here, I can change it. If I don't want this picture here, I can change that. I can also put in any types of announcements I want. I have easy access to the courses that I'm enrolled in. I also look at, here are my professional development courses that we learn. I see all here the activity that's happening in each of my courses. And yes, we have a Google Translate widget. So for all of those newcomers or first-year students, you can easily translate this page and any other page in iLearn to the languages that Google Translate supports. Now, if I don't like the way that this looks, I can certainly go in and change that, or I can ask my principal to go in and change this. But I love that iLearn has put these student tutorials here at the bottom. So if I say, oh my gosh, I forgot how to create an assignment or submit a quiz, you can use these links and it will give you videos and step-by-step instructions. Now, let me go in and show you your homepage. So when you log in, you're going to see your school homepage, and here is your teacher personal digital classroom. You can make this look however that you want, as long as you're staying within the provided what we call widgets of iLearn NYC. So I can easily add what we call an activity feed. So I think about this as like the social media post, right? What am I going to put on Facebook today for my students to know? I might want to link in and create a message. I might want to post it later, which I love. So I might want a message to go out only for my 3rd period class because I have a sub, and I'm not going to post it until that class starts so that students don't finish the assignment early. I can also put in an assignment here. Very easy. Now, this is what I also want you to look at. Everything that I'll show you is ease of use, right? It's all going to look the same. So you learn the programming here once, you learn the screen once, and you can apply it to everything. So again, here's our activity feed. I also have announcements. I can put in announcements, reminders about the week. I can flip the way that these little widget things look. I can also go in and see work to do. So these are assignments that are overdue. I have easy access to my classes here. Again, I put in this Google Translate. And when I talked about awards, you can put a little leaderboard here and it'll say, Amy's the first, or Amy's completed her assignment first. Guys, even high school students still love those awards, right? You have a quick course overview. So when I talked about the data for teachers, you can see, oh, one person came to my course today. No quizzes have been submitted today. You can go in and look in here, tool access. Did Johnny actually access the content I wanted him to read? Real quick, easy data for you to look at. And here, once again, are these student tutorials. When I said you can make the page look however you want, whenever you see these 3 little ellipses, that just means that there's more that you can do. So I can manage my homepage, I can edit it, or I can remove the banner at the top and make it a pretty picture however I want. So we talked about the school homepage. This is your teacher homepage, and you have all of these items up here in this nav bar. This is where you're going to live as far as creating and inserting different things into your classroom. I could have maybe an Apex link up here. I could have a Discovery link up here. This is where all of those integrations are really going to come in handy. I love the help here. You have a dedicated iLearn support team with open office hours every day. They will come and teach you anything that you want to know about Brightspace, about iLearn. You also have access to a community. This is our D2L community, and it brings together all of the other teachers in the entire world that are using iLearn, or excuse me, Brightspace, brings them together into a community where you can share knowledge and ask questions. There's also a YouTube channel. This is great because you can go in and do 1-minute videos. How do I submit that assignment? How do I create content? She told me about this wonderful Creator Plus tool. What do I need to know about that? There's a YouTube channel for teachers and a YouTube channel for administrators. So I encourage you to check that out. Under this course admin, these are all of the other items that you have access to. So there are certainly a lot of features that as you get into iLearn that you're going to look at further and learn more about. So for instance, that quick eval I told you about, you can do intelligent agents, which says, you know, I only want this course or this class to be seen by Johnny and Susie on this particular date, or I want to automate my emails going to students. So there's all different kinds of things that you can do under this course administration. If I go up here to the top, you have, this is your, of course, email, your message alerts. This is your information about you as the user. And this is your waffle. Call this a waffle because it certainly looks like a waffle. These are all the courses that I have access to. So I have my class homepage, and now I want to go into, and I want to look at a certain course. So this is called D2L demo course, but think of this as like your first period US history course. And that's what this would be. So let's take a look. All right, so we're in our demo course. Again, this is what we call your content area. Think about this as the lesson book, right? So in my lesson book or in my binder, I have all of these tabs on the left. I also might want to put in some teacher resources that only I can see. So maybe it's a group of links together. Maybe it's information about how I can make this better the next year. Maybe it's stuff from the district that I just have to need to know, right? You can put that all into teacher resources and you can hide it. So this is just for me as the teacher. It's hidden from students. All right, so let's go back. So here are my folders, right? My first unit is called Energy and Momentum. Let's look at what we have in here. Let's go to energy types. So here I just imported a PDF that I had, a worksheet, right? So nobody's saying that when you come into the LMS that you have to create from scratch. Take everything that you already have, put it into the LMS, put it into your course, and then as the years and semesters go by, work on them a little bit. Use some of the tools we have to make them more engaging. It's very simple. You click this Add Existing button. You can drag and drop over here. I can put things in from my Google Drive. I can put things in from my Microsoft OneDrive. I can put in a Teams meeting. I can start a quiz. Very, very simple. So don't start over. All right, we're not going to do this to mess up this environment. So you can add whatever you want. So we're going to go down and start, okay, with energy types. So again, here's our worksheet. If I want to, what physicists mean by work, if I want to change this. So this is what I did last year. I want to change it. Very simple. Remember the 3 buttons? I can click over here and I just edit. This is going to let me edit the work that I imported or the work that I did the previous year. And of course, the one time you want the internet to run quickly. So I can go in here and I can edit. I could add in a new video. Now, let's look at where the video is. I'm not asking the students to go out to YouTube. I'm asking the students to stay in the LMS and watch the video here. So very easy to manage your students. They're all working within this LMS. So here's the edit. It came up here. I can here simply type whatever I want in this nice format box. We call this the iLearn editor, but you can see just like a Word editor or a Google editor, you have all of this information here. This is a great button teachers love. It's called Insert Stuff. You can go ahead and insert, again, anything that you have anywhere and make it part of this lesson. I could also select a template. So I'm going to show you that here in a minute. So I just wanted to show that this is so super easy. I can add a divider. I can add an emoji. I can insert elements and practices. And I love this layouts button. Let me show you that here in a minute. So let's go back because I don't want to actually change. I want to discard these changes. And in your sandbox that you have, you can't mess anything up. So if you log in, you can play around. Your sandbox is yours. It's not going to affect the work that students see or any work that you would collaborate with others on. So just a reminder, in your sandbox, you can play. Nothing's going to break. So let's go back to this HTML editor. So I want to create something entirely new. And I see this blank page. And I'm like, I have no idea what I want to put in this lesson. All I need to know is I need to teach 3 concepts about war. I'm going to go in here and browse for a template. Very simple. I'm going to do a video lecture. Ooh, now let's look at this and pop this open. It's given me this easy template. Now all I have to do is go in here and edit the template. I can change the video out to replace the video. It gives me all of these wonderful instructions. So it's very easy to start. Don't get overwhelmed with, I don't know what I'm going to put in there. There are so many different options here that are already made for you that you can go ahead and change. So here's another one. Here's tabs. Gives me some best practices. I have tabs here. When we talk about engaging students and keeping them together on the screen with you as you do your discussion or your lecture, this is a great way to do that. And it shows you very easily how to do that. All right, so I know I just threw a ton of information at you about content. So let's go back and talk about a couple other things that are easy workflows. So I'm back here in my high school tab folder. We were working within my unit energy and momentum, and I want to add another folder. And I'm like, I just need more information. I need to change this unit. They added a new unit. Very simply, I click this new unit. It's going to give me a new folder. So it's just going to add that folder tab in there. Look at how the ease of use is and the UI features. It's all the same placement of everything. Over here on your right, though, you will see advanced features. Anytime you see this kind of grayed out box, you have advanced features here. So instance, availability dates. I don't want my students to see this folder until the start of the school year. So I'm going to put an availability date in there. Release conditions are another extended practice for you, but you can play around with that if you would like. Very simply, again, I can insert my stuff. I could pull over, this is what we did at the beginning of the year, or this is the email somebody sent me about the first unit that I have to add in here. Very easy, add your unit. Okay, so let me cancel this. We don't want to make a new unit here. I also can come over here and create a new folder. So in that folder, I might just want to say, remember, this is your folder underneath the unit. This might be my teacher resources, right? So I might want to just simply, this is my Kuna resources. I can add a due date, I can add whatever I want, or I can simply just save and close. And it's going to show me a new folder with my teacher resources. Now, I can't tell you how important that is because now I don't have to go and get all of my old binders or my old lesson or my old folder. It's all here, my resources, year over year. I can also share these different things with other teachers, and maybe we could share the work, right? I create the unit on Manifest Destiny, and you create the unit on Westward Movement, right? And then we can share them together. You'll see this all over. This is your hidden. So this is if you want students to be able to see what you're working on, or if you want it to remain hidden, it's a draft, right? Now here, when it says standards, I talked a little bit about standards before. Basically, this is saying all of my activities in this course, that I have aligned to standards, I am meeting 11% of the entire, let's just say, energy standards. So I can very easily see, oh, maybe I need another activity on that motion and stability so I can meet some additional standards. All right, so we've talked all about content. I've told you how you can use templates and create new content. I've showed you your course home pages. We're going to go into assignments now. So we're going to go ahead and create a new assignment. Again, let's look at the UI. Everything here is the same. Very simple, easy to use. I can type in my title of the assignment. Here I, again, have all that insert stuff, but I also have a new bar here. I can record audio or I can record my video very quickly. So of course it's blocking my camera here. I'm presenting from a room that will not allow me to use my microphone, but I can record my camera here and very simply add it in here. So maybe my assignment is, hey students, I'm not going to be here today. Can you please read chapter 4 and submit the 4 questions in the LMS? So then I, as a teacher, if I'm out at a different school, or maybe I took a few days off, I already have the students submitting the assignments that I can now grade in the LMS anywhere I have access to the internet. Remember, on the right-hand side, these are our more advanced features, but for every assignment, you can set this up. The one that we haven't talked about is the evaluation and feedback. I can add a rubric. I can create a rubric and I can share it across my courses. I can add a Turnitin integration here. I could add feedback back and forth with the video, or even just your simple text boxes. So students can even submit on their phones. They can submit a text in response to your question for an assignment. So very easy to use. When we go back to accessibility, you can go ahead. Students will see the same thing no matter if they're on a tablet, on a computer, or on a phone. The LMS, the Brightspace, will look the exact same. It'll modify to that screen, which is excellent. All right, so I told you and promised you that I'd show you some great Creator Plus features, as well as show you some Passport information that's like pre-made content, so you can kind of see where the vision goes, as well as look at a student view for you. So I can see sometimes where, like, this is a blank page, Amy, what am I supposed to do with it? We have these Creator Plus templates. Creator Plus is an add-on feature that you have access to in your sandbox and in your courses. It makes your pages, right? No matter what the page, it makes them look beautiful. So I have all of these templates, okay? Meet the facilitator. All I need to do is go in here and add my information into the boxes and save. Here's an introduction module, okay? It looks beautiful, right? I didn't have to spend any time on it. I just came in here and typed in my information, and different sample layouts. So if I wanted to have 2 panels, or maybe I want a panel on the left and a panel on the right. So those of you that have worked in creating websites can see it's kind of very similar, but everything is already done for you. We have elements. Elementary teachers, we can do flip cards. So maybe I want students to have that formative assessment using flip cards. I can even go in and do accordions. So I can have students go ahead and click, and it's going to, open the page and close the page back up with the accordion. I can have all of those numbered. I can even have tabs. So what that looks like is very simple, right? The students here, but the students are engaged in your lesson. They can go in and redo and rework and listen to each of these individually. So when I talk about that they can listen to it, you also have access to a read speaker in which the LMS, iLearn, will read this information to the student. Always accessibility friendly. So there are all different ones. I can do a timeline, right? When I talked about a flip card, you can go in here, you can see your flip card, you can do click and reveal. So all of these are meant for you to go in and really be a designer of the content that you want to teach. Students will log in and be engaged in your activities. You can do different call outs. Sometimes it seems so simple, but I break up my page. I have the call out options. I can make it a what do you think question. Attention, please. Hey, students, make sure you please submit your assignment before you leave. So we have all of these different elements. We've included in here information in which you can say, why would I use Creator Plus, right? Why would I want to use and have to create something out of my content. It will give you all of the ideological reasons and guides of why you would like to use this. Your implementation managers can certainly help you and show you these step by step. So I don't want to go over it too much and spend our time. I have so many other exciting things to show you, but this is the Creator Plus. Be a designer. Get those students interested in your course. Now, when I talk about pre-built content, this is where I'm thinking that you have a group of teachers and you're sharing how to go in and create your content in a centralized location that all students can access. So here is an example. Passport to Social Studies, I hope you've heard about it. Social Studies teachers out there, if you have not, I highly encourage you to look at this. Of course, this was my passion because I did teach social studies, so I'm a little biased there. But what your DOE department has done is created the first ever completely aligned curriculum, put it into iLearn, available to you right away. So I can start 8th grade, I can start 9th grade. It's available 6 through 10 right now. 11 and 12 will be available a little bit later. But this is my whole curriculum. All I have to do is go in here, edit it, add in the other stuff that I want. Maybe this year I'm not teaching this lesson, so I hide it. And maybe this year I want to add in another lesson. So your social studies department has gone through and put in all of the information that you as a teacher would need to know about your scope and sequence, right? So I have all the information I need to teach the course. I have all the different standards that I would need to know. And it's already within all of these, engaging kind of Creator Plus elements that I showed you. I have all of my units and it's broken up by day, right? So, hey, how am I teaching social studies? I would be using this and adding in all of my own material and using this as my class. Again, as a teacher, it gives you all of your relevant framework. It gives you all of your resources. What field trips could I do with this one? It goes through and tells you not only a phone number, but links and people to talk to. This is an amazing resource for you. We're going to stick for today in Manifest Destiny. All right. So here I have the lesson roadmap. This is your lesson plan. I don't know how many of you need to turn in lesson plans, but I know as a teacher, it got to be somewhat difficult. I was spending too much time on my lesson plans. And then as an administrator, I was spending too much time looking at people's lesson plans instead of being in the classroom with the teachers, actually teaching those lesson plans. So here they're already made for you. All I have to do is go in here and edit it. And I can add in all of the other things that I was showing you with those workflows, right? Okay, so enough about the lesson plan. Let's go into Manifest Destiny. All right, so how do I teach this? Very easy. I click this open. I put this up on the board. We talk about it in the class. We have a discussion. Students will be able to type in these boxes, and then they will download it and put it into their portfolio. I, as a teacher, could go in and edit it and say, I don't want to put these things in here. I want to do something else here. I want to put, what do we think that the lady flying in the picture says, right? What does that say for progress? It gives you your consider this question. So instead of me thinking of exit tickets out the door, I now have questions already pre-built for me. What will I learn? For a lot of those AP courses, those kiddos want to know, what am I going to be learning this day? It's already there. And it gives you the note. And hey, yes, we can translate it. So I can have this page translated to anything that Google Translate does. And just a call out to Brian Carlin and the Social Studies Department that created all of this material. They have spent years and hours and tireless time at night getting all of this ready for you. It is the only DOE curriculum that you can go ahead and translate. All right, so let's get over. I need to move a couple things around. When I said the listen, this is the read speaker that's on every page. So I, as a student, can click listen, and it's going to tell me and read what's on this page. So when we think about accessibility, how fantastic is this that it's already built in to every page? You can play around with the settings of read speaker, but basically I can enlarge the text. I can make it do whatever I want here. Many of you are familiar with read speaker, but that's in every page. Again, I can create new. I can add things in. I can add existing. So maybe I want to throw in a worksheet I already used for Manifest Destiny, right? This is the starting point of a wonderful curriculum. Science out there, language arts out there, reading, all of those things could be just as beautiful. If you start working towards maybe this year, I want to do 1 unit. Maybe we work together for units. Maybe over the summer, I did a lot of summer curriculum writing where we wrote all of our lesson plans. Maybe we want to try iLearn this year and put everything into it. So very easy. So let me go into the AI. I know I'm probably at about 10 minutes here. I promised to show you some AI quick features. So this is a practice. You can see, hey, it's kind of text heavy. I want to add something to this. But what do I add? What questions could I add here? So I can very easily go in and edit this. And I can have our AI pull from just this Let's Practice Manifest Destiny perspectives. So it's going to pop up here, and very easily, anytime when you see like these 3 little stars, it's going to have the AI. So I can simply go into here. I'm going to insert a practice. I want multiple choice. I want for the AI to tell me a multiple choice question based only on what I told it to do. So here's the text, right? If I want to add text in here, I can simply copy and paste. I can go to an encyclopedia online and I can copy and paste that information in here. But I only wanted to do what I have here on this one. I'm going to say generate question. And it's going to do the Jeopardy, thinking, AI. Okay, again, it's going to say can cancel. It's going to think about everything that I put into it for the source text. And voila, I have a multiple choice question. Okay, what's great about this is that I have options. I can add feedback. I could add a hint. I can go over here. This is the example of the question it gave me. Of course, I can check my answers. Down here, I can give a title. I can give it a description. Hey, students, I need for you to answer this question. You have multiple different attempts. You can add images. So I can also put this question and beef it up from what the AI told me. What I love is this randomized order answer because we know students can be sneaky, right? And they're going to look next door and see, what did you put? If I randomize this answer order, every student's going to get a different question in a different order. But let me rephrase. They're going to get the same question, but all the answers will be in a different order. So that's really a great use of AI features. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. The other AI feature I want to talk to you about is building quiz questions. Now you can build quiz questions and align them to Bloom's taxonomy. So when I think back to the groups of students that I had in my course, I want to challenge them with these quiz questions. All right, so if I go to my course admin, and all of these instructions are available for you step by step, so don't think that you have to go in here and try to memorize anything. All of those tutorials will always be available for you. My question library. So your question library contains all the questions that you put into it. So if I make 12 quizzes and each quiz has 1 question, all of those questions will be imported in my quiz library. I can share my quiz library with other people, and I can put them into like an LOR where I'm saving some of those quiz questions. So again, we see these fancy little icons here. I want to generate a quiz question, and it's going to say, what do you want me to generate this quiz question on? Here I can select the course content. How many questions do I want? And here's the Bloom's level of taxonomy. So I can say, I want this question to be an understand. I want it to be an evaluate, whichever that you want. So let's just quickly, I know I'm running out of time here, and I want to show you some of the wonderful resources available to you. Let's go back to our Manifest Destiny lesson here real quick. Okay, so I'm in here. We were working on that let's practice. So let's generate these multiple choice questions. And it's the same process. When I talk about the UI being easy to use, I go back. It all looks the same. So whether I'm creating a quiz question or a discussion or an assignment, the UI in the background is going to look the same, which makes it easy for me as a teacher to go in and edit and change and generate whatever that I want for it to do. And of course, you know, Murphy's Law, when you want it to go quickly, it's slowly generating these questions. So while it's generating these questions, we talk a little bit about your iLearn NYC team. So it's very easy for you to go and get your help. You want to focus in on your contacts. These are your implementation managers. Executive Director Celine, she's wonderful. She will work with your school and create an individualized implementation plan for iLearn and use it for what you want it to be. So think about the data that you want to get out of iLearn. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's just the passport, and she will help you with that. In addition to our wonderful implementation managers, we have Arlene in the Bronx, we have Kelly in the Queens, we have Tina in Staten Island, Henry as a support analyst, and Dan is in Manhattan, and you can see that they split Brooklyn around. You can reach out to them anytime. What I love is that they have this continuous professional development. So I can go in here and see all of my spring PD opportunities. Many of these are CTLE eligible. So if you're looking for ways to learn more about iLearn MIC, you can go ahead and go in here and sign in for more deep dives and more information that you want to look at. In here, it's going to give you all of your tools, the key tools, getting started, how to log in, how to roster your courses. So in rostering your courses means, hey, I connect to STARS, the students are in my courses, and I don't have to touch it ever again. I don't have to add a student. I don't have to move the student. It's all right there. Here is the information on your integrations. Again, Victoria will provide for you PDF of our lesson and our PowerPoint. If you go in there, you can look at all that. So let's see here where my question library is. Of course, it's still generating. We have a lot of people in this Zoom, so I'm just going to let it sit and generate, and maybe it will work. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. I included in here everything that I talked about in the PowerPoint. So if you're like, what was she telling me about communication? What was she telling me, about delivering feedback in video assignments? Or what was she saying about data analytics? It's all right here. There's also a slide here, thanks to Arlene, that discusses the passport. I know it says 6 through 8, but currently it's 6 through 10. Here are your additional benefits for students. It talks about why we are accessible. And then I was just talking about our wonderful implementation managers. It has everything here, as well as gives you resources. They've created iLearn 101 and iLearn 102 courses that literally steps you through step by step. How do I make a discussion? How do I make a quiz? And these key tools and Brightspace tutorials. So I know I threw a ton at you, and I really hope that you at least found one aspect of unlocking the power of iLearn useful to you that you'll put in place and practice over the summer to use for this fall semester. So Victoria, I wasn't following up with the chat. Is there any last comments that you would like to say to our audience today? Again, thank you all for coming and participating in the Beyond Access Forum.
Thank you, Amy. I'll go ahead and answer this last question live. There was a question about high school math curriculum. I do want to say that the only DOE built out curriculum right now is social studies, but there is the opportunity within iLearn to share resources, curriculum, all of that from teacher to teacher. So if there is something that another teacher at your school or in your district has that you feel like would be helpful and they're willing to share that, you can share that within iLearn and kind of import, export all of that, and you don't have to worry about going outside of the platform for that content. There's also a number of curriculum providers that we do integrate well with, so you can go to that curriculum straight from iLearn.
Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so you can build the curriculum out, be collaborative, talk with your DOE representatives to say we want more pre-built content in iLearn, but also remember, start small. Start with one lesson, and then do one unit. And you're off, right? And this is year to year, so you can access this anywhere, anytime, any year. So thank you very much. I believe we can close out, and you will receive your CTLE feedback and survey. So hopefully you give us lots of hearts and pluses so we can come back and present to you next year. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.